Okay, I guess that's working. Um, so, real quick, while I'm waiting on people to come in, um, hopefully you can hear me fine. I'm checking this little thing down here. Um, okay, I this is gonna be this is cursed. This is gonna be the last show of the year, and so because of that, I was like, oh, I want to do a Yule show, but I don't want to do like that Yule show. So I was like, let me just do this. And who knows? This might become a tradition if it goes well, because everybody likes ghost stories. But I think the next cursed episode will be like end of January. Going to take a break, catch up on recordings and stuff with people. So um, that'll be fun. But real quick, like I said, while we're waiting on people, I'm gonna read the Patreon shout outs. Um, so for our Haints level, we have Corian Lane of New World Witchery, Joanne, Melissa D, Chris of Pagan Ironworks, Ashley C, Amanda F, Mary, Allison, Aura, Shannon, Alex, Ashley M, Liz, Amanda of Bellfire Apothecary, Salvo Sea Witch, Cryptid Baddie, Lorraine, Nightgeist Podcast, and then Jason and Melanie of Spooky Charlotte. You should go check out Spooky Charlotte because we had a lot of fun with them last night, meeting them, sharing stories. The Hex-Files did. Uh, and then for Poltergeist, we have Rachel the Pickety Witch, Temple, Luna, Heather, Avael, Jessica, Tiffany, Stephen, Zach, the Church Grim, Lilith, Stephanie, Emily, Jen, Nessie, and Wednesday. And then the Phaleantier is Brett Manning. So, wanted to get those shout outs for the last of the year. I do have some guests that are going to be coming on. There's 7 people in here right now. And we're going to do some calls, and then we're going to have, let's see, what is it? Stories, like ghost stories and Yule traditions, things like that. I don't have it scheduled because I know people, it's probably going to be an hour and a half. Try not to make it like 3 hours like the quarantine one, but we have some guests. Hex-Files is here. Hello.
They pushed their way in the door. We said no.
Yeah,
They
but we
didn't
are
listen.
them.
Yeah. I said get out.
Oh.
They didn't listen.
Oh, well, they're here. It's already past my bedtime. Really, it's 8 p.m. on a Sunday. But we'll share some stories. There are some guests coming up. Like if you saw, we have Julia, Witchcraft Cocktails is in here. She's going to come on and talk to us. Tamara of Hex-Files is going to share. Tamara's going to share one of her ghost stories. We had fun in a haunted hotel last night, but you're not going to hear about that. You'll hear about that next year from Hex-Files. And then some other people, Danae of Witchy Woman Podcast is here. She's going to share a story. So yeah, it's going to be fun. And I invited other people, but like I said, if they can't come, I don't want to call them out by name. So I think if it probably told you this when you joined, I've got my drink. I'm drinking gin and tea, raspberry tea, but it's really sweet and it's awful.
I'm drinking bourbon neat. Big surprise there.
But if you call in, use a headset if you can. Headphones, AirPods, whatever is what it said, I think, to avoid echo, but we'll work around it. So there's a call-in button. It looks like I can have like a lot more guests than they used to allow. And we don't want, I'll try not to have people like talking over each other. So I can have a couple people on, but we do want to share stories and make sure everybody gets a chance to tell a story if they came here to tell it. If you don't want to talk. Oh, and we do have Cryptid Baddie. She's in here. She has Crypto Chat. That's her show. I think it's on YouTube. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. And it might be a podcast too. Spotify. Got it. Okay. Check her out. And I'll link all these fun guests and stuff in the show notes when I post it afterwards. So make sure to follow all these people. I asked them on for a reason because they're cool. And so between paranormal investigators, cryptid lovers, witches, Yule, like there's, it's a good time. I'm going to pretend I'm a fun guest. Well, you are up past your bedtime, so I don't know how fun you could be. I'm just kidding. So if somebody wants to call in now, I won't let Hex-Files go first because I don't want to play favorites. I don't want them to think they're like cursed darlings or anything. Or we could let it go. It's only been 5 minutes. We could let it go for a couple more seconds. See if people get their audio and their live stuff working. But no, we can announce that later. I was going to say something fun, but we'll do it later when there's more people here. But we're glad that you're here and that you care and that you're on time and prompt.
I see my people, like the click on the meeting as soon as it's possible to do so. People, right. I'm that person.
I was going to start it early, but if you watched Hex-Files patron thing, there's 10 minutes of us like not knowing what to do because we're like, wait, what if we can't edit this? It's just going to be at the beginning. And we couldn't and leave the live chat. So, and I don't know who J-Lo is. It says she keeps entering the chat. So I'm not sure if they're having problems. J-Lo, you good? You all right? Struggle's real over there.
Oh, no. If you hear me crunching, I have a snack.
Yeah, it's popcorn. I'm not going to edit it out. So, but I wanted to do this too because it's like the summer solstice. Jesus fucking Christ. I was drinking a little bit before this. It is the solstice tomorrow. Snacks are important. Yes. It is the solstice starting tomorrow. So that's why we want to do some of like the Yule stories and ghost stories and things like that. So, well, like I said, we got 8 in here now. So if somebody wants to call first, we've got, we can either do Witchy Woman Podcast. We can do Julia. And we can, like I said, it can be like a Zoom meeting call, like multiple people can call in. So, but then I'll delegate like Frasier or some shit. I'll be like, okay, like don't, I'll take this one.
Who has the talking stick?
I don't know if I can mute people either. So, do you guys know how to hit the call in? Do I need to do anything? No, that's for email. I don't know your emails. There should be like a button somewhere. I don't know. I know I'm looking at this on a different platform. I was like, there's nobody here. Okay. I'm going to click. Did it work?
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Hi. Yay! I figured it out.
Okay, so this is Danae of Witchy Woman Podcast. She's hopping on here to tell us a story. If you listen to her podcast, which you should, I was on there like in October before the Gather the Witches Hex-Files thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So this is like cheating. This is me getting you on before a real episode.
I don't mind.
Yeah, practice run.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want me to talk about my scary story first or Yule? What do I do for Yule?
Whatever you feel led, whatever the spirit.
Okay, cool. So I guess because I smell like what I've been doing for Yule, so I do what I call it an intention boil. So I just put some water in a pan or a pot or whatever, and I stick it on the stove, and I put all kinds of herbs that correspond with Yule. So it smells freaking fantastic. It smells like cloves and orange and pine. And I let those herbs like low boil for a couple hours, and then I put pine cones that I collected, and I let them like soak in there for about an hour, and then I dry them in the oven, and then that's what I'll be like tossing in my Yule fire as like an offering when I do that.
Oh, well, I mean, tomorrow does something similar. but not the pine cone part.
No.
I like that idea
Right.
though.
It
You got
smells
pine
super
cone?
good. Yeah, it smells
That's
so
right.
good. Like
No,
I
that's
don't
what I
know if
was
I'm
gonna
like
say if they were saying.
talking over people or not. Like
No,
I
I
have a
do
weird
have.
delay.
Okay. I do think that happened before. So we'll just allow a little bit of like playtime for the delay to happen. But so yeah, I think that's great. It always makes the house smell great.
Yeah.
So
Yep,
there's worse
it really
things to
does.
smell like.
Yes, and it's just one of my favorite smells. I love Samhain, but Yule is like my second Sabbath. I guess that's my favorite. I really enjoy it. It just I don't know. This time of year, we don't like. I swear to God, there's like 4 hours of daylight. It feels like so. As soon as like winter solstice hits, it's kind of a yay. The days are going to get longer, and the sun is coming back. So it's kind of like a celebration of hope for those of us who hate freaking winter.
True. It's usually a cozy feeling. I mean, it feels different this year, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we all survived something this year. I mean, I think that's a big part of Yule and the celebration is you made it through the winter, you persevered, you survived. More in, I guess, older times, survival was less of a given and more of a question. But this year, we did survive. We all really survived something.
Word.
Absolutely. I'm ready for it to be done. I'm not even going to celebrate the new year. I'm just going to like keep my head low and just it's another damn day and just pretend like it's just normal. And maybe 2021 won't bite us in the ass.
Right. It'll change like in a couple. It'll definitely make a hard change. I feel it.
I do too.
Unfortunately, I feel like it'll be a little bit of the same, but we'll get there.
Probably.
It maybe, with vaccines and such.
Right.
We'll get there.
I know.
Um,
Cool. Well, I don't want to tell you this story before like my dogs go ape shit. You're gonna want to go outside. So, I know I've told you a little bit about it, but I lived in a haunted home. I grew up there. I, graduated high school. I lived there for 17 years and it was uber haunted. And then, I don't know if you do it when you're a kid or what, but you kind of just go, okay, whatever. I'm moving on. I'm graduating. And I don't want to think about like all the weird things that happened at the house. So I never really thought about it. And then I went to the Navy, spent some time away and came back and I lived there as an adult, like not too long. We just moved out of that house a year and a half ago. Anyway, So I moved back and I'm more connected to my spirituality. I'm more aware. By that time I was doing like mediumship professionally. So I knew what I was doing and I was open to all this crap. So I get there and things start happening. And mind you, so this home is a ranch. I think it was established like in 1912, if I remember right. And it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no neighbors. There's no lights. It's just you and the coyotes and, grass.
as it should be.
Yeah. So it's nowhere. Like from living in San Diego where everything's lit up all the time and then going out there kind of was a shock to, me and my daughter because it's creepy. So we started hearing things and it was like, whatever. We just kind of ignored it at first. And then one time, it's like a couple things I want to tell you guys about. So my husband and I are sitting in the living room and we had been discussing the weird shit that has been happening. And in our kitchen, we could directly see into our kitchen from the living room. And all of a sudden we could hear a noise and see our kitchen, one of the kitchen chairs that's on like little rollers, like roll like 3 feet all by itself.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. And none of the other ones have. It was just the one chair. And we're like, oh my God, what is going on? So my husband at this point is kind of creeped out. And we just, I was like, okay, whatever. I had a lot of things going on. I don't know if you listen to the podcast, you guys know what went on there. Had personal stuff. So anyway, I was super distracted. And then it seemed like the more I ignored it and pretended it wasn't happening, it would like escalate. One of the things that happened all the time that was super creepy and really was like that last straw for my daughter. We would be upstairs in our bed. Our house is 2 stories, like the full basement in the bottom. So that's where my daughter wanted to like set up her like teenager, cave down there. So we'd be upstairs and you could hear like this weird sound. And we're like, what the hell? It sounded like something was rolling at first and then slamming. We're like, what the hell is that? So we go downstairs, my daughter and I, and we go to her room because that's where we think it's coming from. And we notice that her closet doors, there's like them old, this house was built a long time ago and it has those slidey closet doors. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like before they were like cool.
Yes,
were they like
exactly.
Doors?
Yeah, they're like, they slid back and forth like a barn door kind of.
Oh my God, were they made of like reclaimed barn? Oh my God, if they were made of reclaimed barn wood before it was reclaimed.
Right.
Right.
I have
oh my
those
God.
These were
doors now.
Yeah, okay. See, you guys know what I'm talking about. So we noticed her closet door was open. Like, what the hell, dude? Because she's weird. She doesn't like open spaces like that. It creeps her out anyway to have like closets and doors open. So she's like, we shut it and we go back upstairs. And I can't remember what we were doing. We were doing something in the kitchen, like baking or something. And all of a sudden we hear like a roll and a slam again. And then like it happened like 3 times in a row. Like it went open, close, open, close. Scared the shit out of both of us. I'm like, we should go down there. And she's like, abso-freaking, like, I'm not going down there. So we had ourselves, and I'm not normally this scared of things, but at this point, like, it felt aggressive because it wasn't like, I'm going to roll the door. I'm going to slam it 3 times.
I do want to say real quick is like, one of the good thing, not good, but one of the things about those sliding things is like, you can't say, well, did a draft, did the like suction from like another door like close and open it, like no, it's moving because it's on like a slider. So I think that's interesting.
This thing that was in my home enjoyed like opening and closing things, and it started doing it upstairs. We had a hallway closet, and it would just I wake up in the middle of the night, I gotta get a drink or whatever, I'd get up and start to go down the hallway, and one night we just like the door was open in the hallway. We're like, what? That's just really weird. So I shut it and I like pushed it really hard and then pulled it just to make sure it was like, you know how them old houses, the doors sometimes don't shut all the way. This one was fine. I went back to bed. My husband ended up getting up in the middle of the night and was like, did you open the closet door? Like, no, dude, I shut it because it was open and I like jiggled it to make sure it was freaking shut. And he's like, well, it was open. And I was like, I ain't touching it. So we just left it open. But that behavior continued for, 2 more years. So the whole house was like that. I mean, there's a lot more that happened, and we can talk about that maybe in another thing. But
yeah, because I want to have you
stuff.
on like either I'm gonna have you on Hex-Files and or Cursed, and we'll like get into your haunted ranch.
Yes. And
we'll tease people by like they'll think it's like ranch dressing, and they'll be like, "Fuck, I was looking for like ranch dressing, but this is cool too."
What am I going
exactly.
to carrots?
You mean chicken nuggets?
Exactly. Oh man, chicken nuggets sound good.
But I agree with Rowan. If you can open and slam things, you can fucking pay rent in this house. God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. I should have. That's would have been probably a better approach than my first approach to get rid of things.
And they're like, okay, never mind. I'll find somewhere else. Jeez.
So many rules here.
Right. It was a huge. So we're a small family. We only have 3 people in our family, and there was 6 rooms. So there was a lot of activity, and we just shut off. There's like 3 rooms we didn't even use. We just closed the doors. It sounds like a cliche horror movie, but they were just like storage rooms. And we stored like my siblings' crap in there that they left in the house because it's our childhood home. And those are also rooms that like things would happen in them, or like no one goes in there because it's like all my brother's fishing trophies and whatever. Like nobody's gonna go in there.
Maybe it was all the ghosts of those fucking fish.
It might have been.
But no, that's great because like I know you've got like you're like I have so many paranormal stories, and I was like, yeah, we'll have a full episode, and I was like, but a couple in here would be fun because we've got some paranormal investigators.
Yeah.
in here too. Are you guys like competing for medals for like giving gifts? Because I appreciate that. You can. I don't know what that does. It give us Podbean bucks? Like, will they give me?
Oh,
a month
that's
free?
cool.
I don't know.
Right?
But,
This is the first time I've used this. This is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I think next time I'll probably just do a Zoom Zoom party. But
Yay!
I knew this option was easy enough to like post, but I can post Zoom pretty easy. But I thought, why not just do it on here, make life easier? But
and we don't have to brush our hair this way.
Yeah,
this is true.
We don't have to put our faces
Very
on
true.
nothing, and don't have to wear pants.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think the Hex-Files podcast ever wears pants in their investigation. That's how you feel draft and cold spots. But we appreciate you coming on. I know you said you had a busy day, so I'm happy that you came on and shared like some stories with us real quick. Because and your recipe for stovetop potpourri. What do you call it?
Basically, I make it like it's basically potpourri with an intention, but I call it my intention boil because that sounds way more witchy than potpourri.
It does. You could probably sell it in bags and then just like throw this on your stove. It's like, wait, this is just
my grandma's potpourri
that are found in normal kitchens.
Which is that's, right. It's basically that's what witchcraft is in like a very small amount of time. That's what it is. Find crap, burn stuff, boil stuff.
Yeah, and think about things. It can be natural.
Right.
But so we appreciate it. And thank you for sharing your stories. And if you want to hear more about the Haunted Ranch, sometime next year, more sooner rather than later, we'll have you on, and we'll get into more like the in-depth thing like that. And like I said, we can try to have you on both podcasts because what are we doing? But
well, thank you you so much. I appreciate you having me on and inviting me. It was nice.
It's weird for me to say go follow Witchy Woman podcast because you should have already been doing that. But it's a really good podcast. You've been around how long now?
Oh man, I'm coming up on 2 years.
2 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're a very popular pagan witchcraft one, and it's fun. It looks like you just got your first 1-star review.
Yes, I did.
We beat you to it, but we didn't have the full message to go along with it.
I put mine on I saw that thing and I'm like, I'm putting it on a coffee cup. That way I can it fuels my fire. Every time I drink it, I'm like, you bitch, and makes me want to do better.
Yeah.
It's a powerful motivator.
But they always say,
exactly. I was gonna say that's excellent.
Yeah. Right. That's what I said. It's like, give us a good one, like a good reason to give us that. Like we joked on the Hex-Files episode, somebody gave us a 3-star. It's like, why are you so on the fence? Like, do you hate us? Or do you really and that was the joke, was like, well, maybe he hates Bigfoot, but they like ghosts. So
that could be.
You're really dragging up some need for acceptance in my life that I need to examine in myself.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, I don't give a fuck what people think. 3 stars, why?
Right? Yeah. Oh, the username of the lady who did it was "Witches Aren't Real."
Oh no!
Witches aren't real, and I don't believe in them. 1 star.
I know.
She went out of her way to find you and be like, no.
I know.
Let me find some witches.
Yes. That wasn't very nice. I wish you could reply to reviews because I would just I'm not from the South, but I just want to put on hers as a reply. Well, bless your heart. I just want to put that and let her go.
Right. Yeah, it's a literal witch hunt.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, we thank you so much. We hope you have your stacks. I mean, you can certainly stay on the line too. I've got 4 more empty spots. I know we'll have Julia on here in a second. We've got Kinsey of Cryptid Baddie, and we've got Charisse. I've got other people. So yeah, we'll all just make a fun group of misfit witches.
Wait, are you guys real?
Are you real?
Before we go any
Are-
further.
Are we real? Yes, we are real.
I'm gonna treat it like coast to coast and be like, so I mean, our guest today is a witch. Our witch is real, and it's like you ask this question every time there's a witch on. Stop asking them on.
Right.
I just see myself poking you with a stick. Like, is this real? What is this?
Like, right. It's funny. Like when I first did the podcast, I don't get as much, weirdly enough, I don't get as much hate now as I did in the beginning. I don't know why they didn't like me, but whatever. But I would get like the Christian, literal witch hunt thing where they'd like text me like, you're going to hell. I'll pray for you. And all this stuff. Like, is this all fake? I'm like, okay.
But like, I want to go to hell. Like, it sounds fun.
Right. I just usually text back. I'm like, okay, well, I don't believe in hell, so bye. Right. Like, what are you supposed to say? Review? Right. Yeah, I don't know. People are weird.
Well, go leave her like a 5-star review and leave us a 5-star review.
Absolutely.
Or 4 or 2, but not 3. 3 is so
right.
Like, what are we?
Right. It's in the middle. It is kind of like a liminal thing, and I think that's kind of one of your deals, right? Like you're the liminal spaces. That's where you guys live.
Yeah, we hide out there. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Hang out and listen to some more of this.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye. So let's see. Next in line is Julia. And can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me? My connection is a little bad sometimes, so.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yay.
So do you want to tell the people what your favorite thing about you is that is ours?
The best part about me. Yes. The best part about me is the alcohol. So I do Witchcraft cocktails. I'm the author of Witchcraft Cocktails, the book and blog. And I combine the worlds of magical mixology and witchcraft for magically delicious beverages. So I may not have a ghost story, but I have a different type of spirit with me. So
nice. Love it. We always have those. If it's not Betty, it's like gin or something. But I was like, I'm gonna let you say your stuff because I'll fuck it up. But we love your book. We love the recipes we've made out of it. Is Prosperous Pumpkin our favorite?
It's so good. Like, Yay. It's wrong how good that is.
It's wrong. But we've had so much fun with your book. You even bought it for your BFF.
Yeah, my best friend's getting
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's so funny because, I my little witchling self, grew up and worked at the Mystic Dream, which you guys know, like Storm, Devin Hunter, and Chaz would run. And so just the other day, Storm tagged me in a post that his sister gave him my book. And I'm like, does she know that I worked for you and learned from you? And obviously she didn't, but I think it's just kind of funny, how I'm appreciating people buying it as gifts, and I'm excited for continuing it because it's fucking delicious.
Well, what's funny to me is I like books, but there's just something about it's a hardback book. If you watched our Gather the Witches, you were doing the event too, and I was like, holy shit, there's something called Witchcraft Cocktail. Hold on, and I pre-ordered it, and I was like, I'm gonna talk to her and see if we can make a couple of her drinks, none that she's gonna use for her presentation, but that's kind of what we're about. We were trying to think of fun drinks to make, and we just happened upon your book, and we were like, okay, let's get it and let's make these drinks.
And boy, did I get trashed.
Yeah, you can tell.
Your guys' opening for that was one of my favorite. I love how the cat attacked the board. That was just...
For a second, we were like, okay, we got to redo this. And I was like, wait, what if we don't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't. It was the best thing ever.
Loki's like, let me save you from Mothman.
Yes. Stand back.
And so you guys ended up, I guess, really liking the pumpkin, Prosperous Pumpkin then, huh?
Yeah,
to
I'm not
that.
gonna lie. I think we've added a little bit extra bourbon,
Yeah.
Yes. Made it a little more fun.
more prosperous. And we made a small amount of money off that. Not much at all, but it wasn't wrong.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, we sold a couple tickets. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm not gonna give it all away right now. Hint, hint. Actually, that was not a pun. But we're gonna feature you coming up in a future episode, not too far from the beginning of the year. So look out for that and get her book. And we might even have like a special. She might even make us a special drink.
Yeah, special little drink for Hex-Files and Cursed.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna do 2 drinks? You're gonna double fist it?
Maybe. I mean, let me not over push myself. But
you can focus on Hex-Files because but there might be like some stuff that we're giving away in celebration. And I hope whatever you make, whatever you design for us, we'll get it shit-faced.
Well, let's talk about it right now since we're on the air. Like, what kind of energies do you guys want for the Hex-Files cocktail?
Mysterious.
Yes.
It's like spirit communication, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like psychic enhancement.
Gin.
Yeah, gin. Orbium, right? Your favorite.
If you have Orbium and you could throw that in there. But see, then the problem is we can't find Orbium and we want to make it.
Yeah.
But
it's gone now, isn't it?
Yeah. But you can do a wormwood tincture.
Yes, I can. Yeah. Will be a way around it.
Yes. Make it, yeah. Well, and then you can put it in your next book. No, I'm kidding. You actually want to sell it.
Yes. I'm so excited. I'm going to try and make it your colors. It'll be kind of fun to have that multicolored green and purple.
Right. Not since the High Seas Slimer Ghostbusters drink Ecto Cooler has a drink been this good and green. Maybe.
Anyone else, I would hesitate to drink something that color.
You're
From
like,
you.
no,
From you, I'll go with it.
that's ectoplasms floating in there. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Like, I don't know. This happened to me in the 2000s, and it did not go good.
I do want to say we cannot do egg whites. We fucked that up so bad.
Oh, you did? Like, you don't like the taste of them, or you can't put them into a cocktail properly?
I fucked it up properly.
Fucked it up properly. Okay, so what did you do?
I didn't shake it hard enough or long
Okay,
enough.
you
or fast
probably
enough.
you probably shook it wrong because when it comes to shaking with egg whites, so the bonus of this is that eggs are super magical, right? So if you want to incorporate some egg magic into your cocktail and then into ritual, it's perfect. But you actually have to shake the drink with the egg whites first without ice. So you do a dry shake. Did you guys do that?
Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
I did.
Okay. Okay, I was like, how to go?
Kind of like half-assed.
The first time, shake it with egg whites, no ice, dry shake. Then the second time, you open it up, add ice, and shake it again.
Okay.
What did you guys do?
That we did that. Well, I did it. I would think it did not come out good. It was like your friend had made it.
Yeah, it was an RBG. It was like raspberry, basil, and gin drink. Like right as she passed, we were drinking that in her honor, and we almost died.
Yeah, and it's like when I think of RBG, I think of egg whites.
We just
Oh no!
We just about met her, and then he's like, I think you did it wrong." It's like, yeah, I think we did too. It was fucking gross.
Did you use old eggs or something?
No, it was a new egg. It was
Yeah, like a brand new organic egg from a chicken that they swear to God was happy. I don't know.
Yeah. Does it need to be free? It was cage free, organic.
But RBG most definitely should be cage free.
We took out the yolk. We took the yolk out.
Good.
I don't think I shook it vigorously enough.
I don't need to shake it that hard. I'm gonna have to do a video about this because I can't
Please
imagine
do.
what you did that was wrong unless you got like some other ingredients in it incorrect. What did you do? Did it explode or just didn't taste good?
No, it tasted awful.
It looked like a snake. Yeah, it looked like a Barbie pink smoothie, and it made us really sick.
Yeah, we did get sick.
No.
Yeah.
I blame the salmonella.
Yeah, probably.
So I did see a question here from Rowan that says, "How do you come up with your cocktails? Like your real ones, your good ones, not what we ask you."
Yeah, not whatever you drink. I combine a lot of different things. I combine astrology, the planets, the signs. Like just think about if you did a money spell, right? You might use things like jasmine, patchouli, and whatever, cinnamon. And so any ingredients that you might use in a spell that are edible and won't kill you, you can find a way to put into a cocktail. There's lots of bitters, liqueurs nowadays, and so it's just kind of a fun way to it's like literally a potion. And then if you combine it with magic you're doing on the outside and drinking it on the inside, it's wonderful.
Yeah, so if you take what Danae said and add like bourbon after you're done smelling your house good, then you can drink it. Drink that pine cone tea.
That sounded delicious. I would have loved. I can't get my hand on pine cone where I am, but pine.
We'll send you a bunch in the mail.
Oh God!
Where are you though that you don't have pine cones?
Honey, are you in the desert?
I'm in the city, in the Bay Area. So, if I went out for a drive or a hike, I could probably find something. But where I am locally, I mean,
if I go to West Elm in the season's right, I can get pine cones for like $50.
They smell like.
Do you think do you think that like pine cones from like different regions would do different things?
Ooh, like a longleaf pine cone versus
it's like a different
some
flavor,
of them do be looking different.
Yeah.
They're good for fire, like kindling.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like there's all of these different types of oak, and overall oak is good for these certain things, but like black oak, for example, the acorns on black oak takes 2 years to mature, whereas on white oak it takes 1 year. So it's like they have the same magical kind of root properties, but they might have a little bit of a different flavor edge to it. So I like to think it's all pretty similar, but if different pine cones would be similar, but maybe I took your question a little too seriously, but I would say it's like similar but different,
Yeah. Well, I was going to offer to send you some different region pine cones.
Oh my God,
If
please.
that were
You
the
know
case.
what? I would love this because you guys are offering to send me pine cones, and I think this is the most bizarre thing ever. So if you all just sent me pine cones, and then I could do a live unboxing on Witchcraft Cocktail
of all your pine cones.
You might be looking.
All right,
at these
you got
boxes.
it. I'm gonna send you some New England pine cones. They're gonna be covered in
We'll send you
snow.
some North Carolina pine cones.
Oh my God. I think it would be great. I think people it would be so funny.
Yeah, you can really taste the Bible. But you'll be like, you're probably wondering why this box looks like it's full of pine cones. It is full of pine cones. Join me for the next 4 hours as we go over each.
I love it. Oh, that's gonna be great. I have to do it now. There's no going back.
Right. There's a really found sitting on the porch.
Yeah, it's in my garland. I'll send it to you.
Right. This is magical pine cones. Well, one thing you could do with pine cones, because this is a witchcraft podcast, is you can put. I haven't said anything witchy. You guys have been great. But that sounded so like. But that's what I meant is I haven't said anything about witchery. I've let the dude from Hex-Files talk. He's drunk. But you can like put little like little scrolls and little sayings and like wishes, and then you can like throw it in the Yule fire. You can burn them. And it's supposed to do something. Pine is like, I think, for prosperity too.
Yeah, they're evergreen. They're really.
Yeah, and I think. What did you say on? There was some kind of Facebook thing you were saying. Somebody's like, "What can I use for?"
Oh, as a replacement for juniper berries, and I said gin.
Which is very accurate.
Yes, very.
Yeah.
So do you have any recipes for Yule that you want to share, or
Oh
do
my
we have to
God.
buy a book?
Okay, I've got 3 that I'm working on right now. One I'm sipping. So there's obviously the ones from my book. You can do anything in late fall. There's the Awakening Yule Mule, which is like ginger. Use like bergamot ginger syrup, pomegranate seeds. It's a Moscow Mule, so it's fucking delicious. You guys can swear on here, right? Spiked cider, but the one I'm drinking right now is like a candied orange inspired cocktail. So it's like cranberry, orange liqueur, rosemary syrup, vodka. So it's really delicious. Then there's, I'm going to do a Yule old fashioned. So I'm putting together the blog tonight for that. And then also there's an evergreen gimlet that might be more for New Year's, but I might put it out tonight. That's gin on the subject of, right? As well as some elderflower liqueur, grapefruit, and lime and deliciousness, and bay leaf. So some bay leaf magic.
Super delicious.
Did you say bay leaves or bay leaf?
Bay leaf.
Okay, I was like, wait, what? I'm in here.
Oh, Bailey's. Okay, I was like, wait, like more than one bay leaf? No, but you meant like Bailey's liqueur. Oh,
no, I'm back now. I was making a drink. I ran out. This is gin and cranberry. It feels festive.
Ooh, it sounds festive.
We had festive drinks earlier. We had mandarin and pomegranate muddled with elderflower liqueur and gin.
You
That
did
sounds
that.
good.
You made it fancy. I was like, can you make me one? You're like, I'm making 2. And I was like, okay, cool. I will drink one. We got a pregame.
I feel like you guys always have a good drink by your side. I'm a little jealous.
It's called being an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be jealous. I would just be like, next time we do a live stream, make it an intervention.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be good for that.
You're
I'm
like,
the
don't
bartender.
ask.
Yeah.
You're cutting into my my overhead when you start talking about interventions and shit.
Absolutely. I would just like, if I was there with any of you guys, my dream is to like bartend for the witchy community once all of this is over and COVID and vaccine and all that. Then I'm going to bartend for everyone. So I would
That would be
definitely
so cool.
Yeah, and I would be feeding into your, alcohol abuse issues.
Yeah.
So
With pine cones.
You know how
Oh
when
my
you go to like the
God.
witch shops and the ladies greet you and they're like, "What can I help you with today?" Like you just come in and you're like, "Well, I'm kind of a mess. I feel like I need this," and you could just customize cocktails. That's the
yes,
best.
and they don't have to be alcoholic. They can be non-alcoholic, but yeah, most definitely. The candied orange is supposed to be good for positivity, seasonal depression and shit like that. So I'm kind of excited for that one.
Yeah, didn't you like in your book? Don't you have like some things that can be made like non-alcoholic?
Oh yeah, I mean realistically, almost any cocktail, unless it's pure alcohol, like a Manhattan,
Right.
can be
But
made.
you won't be as cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. No one has to know. Can be made into a mocktail or a non-alcoholic cocktail. I always forget that people don't know that a mocktail is a non-alcoholic cocktail. So for anyone, mocktails are non-alcoholic. But you can pretty much make any cocktail into a mocktail. You just replace the alcohol usually with either soda water or tonic water.
Yeah, that works. We were walking around the hotel last night with gas station hot chocolate because everything, we had curfew.
Oh yeah.
So the bar was
no.
shut down. So we did gas station hot chocolate. We were like, let's put a lot of rum in it. And we walked around the hotel, like they're giving us a tour. And I'm like, do they know we're like drinking rum, like walking around? But it was fun.
I mean, I put mine in the branded hotel coffee cup because fancy stuff.
Mine was straight out of the gas station cup.
That reminds me of back when I was bartending, and one of my coworkers, she'd go on break and get a coffee and just stick a little bit of tequila in the to-go cup and bring it back. And so she'd just be drinking from this to-go cup, telling everyone it's coffee, but there's alcohol in there.
I
Yeah.
like her. She sounds smart.
He sounds
was
smart.
fun.
So did you have any ghost stories for us, or you just have like spirit stories?
If I thought really hard, I could like come up with a bunch of different like but I don't know. I just feel like it's not been as much of a larger element of my life. It's been entwined, you know? So, like, for example, I could think back to like high school as some sleep paralysis situation, and, you know, like you're frozen in bed, and I could see like these, there's just this movement and light on the wall. And I actually heard like a lady scream and glass fall and break, you know, and
Yeah.
I woke up and apparently it was an illusion, not real. But I don't really have any like big ghost stories other than the kind of,
Well, hopefully, before save the good ones for Hex-Files.
Okay.
And hopefully you'll have a good paranormal encounter before we have you on. But if we only talk about liquor spirits, that's fine too. That's fine.
Well, what's a good ghost story? Why don't you guys tell a good ghost story?
Well, Tamara has one, but like I said, we're not playing favorites yet. We didn't want to like come out gangbusters like, here's our story, because, you know, oh, you've got the flask. Okay, well,
I stepped away. I mean, my
I stepped
ghost story is not spectacular. It's not like in the fall of 2009, I met a ghost. We ran away. We got married. Like, I don't have a ghost story.
no, but we appreciate the recipe and you taking the time to hop on here, because
Of course.
we love your work. We love what you do.
Much.
And it's the witch in us that, like, I mean, the photos in the book are amazing. I can't remember if we asked if you did those.
I don't know why everyone always asks me if I made them. No, the publisher hired a professional photographers to take the photos.
Well, that's what I wondered. But
me.
like, you still
They're
make
gorgeous.
the drinks pretty. So when you have a Hex-Files drink, make it like, I know you'll make it pretty. I was like, do not make the pictures like, don't let us do it.
Let the Pinterest fail. You can do it, and then we can do it.
Oh my god, I love that. Yeah. Like, compare the two. Who's the professional bartender and who fucked this up?
This is like,
and that could be for the giveaway. Who wins what of something?
Yeah, you tip your bartender. But I think there'll be a giveaway. There'll be something from us. There'll be something from her. I wonder what they could be.
I don't know.
But it's worth winning. And I don't even know when we'll get together on our schedule, but it's coming. Don't you worry.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you came on.
Yay.
And time's flying by, so I'm not pushing you out, but
yes, I will go back to my Yule beverages.
yes.
Sound delicious.
And okay, so again, thank you. Check out her books. Witchcraft Cocktail is the name, I think.
And you will not be disappointed.
No, you'll love it. It's worth. It's so pretty. It's hardback. It's like, ugh.
Every bar needs it.
Every witch needs it. Even if you don't drink, like you said, you have so many good like things to put in there that you like tinctures and stuff you make. You don't even have like, you give all the like witchy ritual and like meaning and uses behind them. Like, you don't even have to be an alcoholic like us to drink it. I mean, read it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. To be fair, it is almost like an hour in, and I'm on my second drink. But so we've got Charisse came in here. If you want to get on the line, we'll put you in the queue. But we also have Kinsey. Is that what you like to be?
Yeah, that's fine. Kenzie's fine.
Kinsey, okay. Or Cryptid Baddie. I didn't know if you wanted to go with the CB.
I know. Well, I didn't know how to change my name on here, so whatever you guys want to call me is fine.
But yeah, and we were like, oh, you need to come on. We need some of our like paranormal investigators on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to share like ghost stories and stuff. So I know Charisse is in here. Still maybe. I can join first time on this app, so I don't know what I'm doing. We don't either. But you can wait or you can connect. There should be little call buttons.
Yeah, I just clicked the little green circle and it like connected me.
All right, cool. But like, yeah,
you did it.
You can wait in the queue or you can like, hang out with us. But so tell, I guess, people a little bit about your it's crypto chat, right?
Yeah. So I have a podcast on Spotify. It's called Crypto Chats. Originally it was a YouTube series, but I decided to turn it into a podcast because I got really tired of having to do my hair and makeup in order to talk about cryptids, which I realized I probably didn't need to do every time, but you got to keep up the image once you've set that standard. So like, I'm
YouTube is a
getting
lot of
lazy.
work.
It
YouTube
is.
is a
It's
lot of
so
work.
much work. And I was like, I started, doing it on Spotify and I was like, wow, this is so much easier. Like, why didn't I just do this in the first place? So now here I am.
Well, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
do you practice witchcraft?
I actually don't. I don't know. I just like I have a lot of respect for it, but it's never really been something that's
It's not a
been
requirement,
for
but I
me.
was just curious if
Yeah. No, absolutely. I definitely like I have
do you think
been
they're real? No, I'm kidding.
I definitely do think witches are real. I definitely do think they are. I've
Good,
been
because I would
just
have
I've
to
been
like probably kick you out. No,
I know, right? 1 star.
No, but we would.
I've been
Hair
doing
or makeup.
Yeah.
what?
1 star refuses to do hair or makeup.
I know. I had one video on my YouTube where I didn't, and I was like, this is gonna be the one where everyone just like bullies me in the comments.
I don't know.
Um,
YouTube feels like a rough place, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I never ended up getting any like rude comments, and I was really scared for a long time because I was like, one of these days, someone's gonna say something mean to me, and I'm not gonna like it, and I'm just gonna like spiral and never make another video. And then that didn't happen, and I was like, well, that's good. But now, like on Spotify, like no one really has the opportunity to say anything mean to me.
No, and you
Nice.
can't even leave reviews on Spotify. So
Yeah, which like I guess is good and bad because like obviously if people had like constructive things to say that would be fine because I'm always here for constructive criticism, but also at the same time no one can just be mean to me.
yeah, it helps. You don't get
Yeah.
3-star reviews like randomly.
I know.
That sit with you for days.
Right.
What does it
I know,
mean?
seriously, that's so weird. Like
But
go ahead, sorry.
no, it's like I think the delay is getting us too. But so do you have a ghost or a cryptid story?
I do. I actually have a ghost story. So I don't know. I know that I'm generally known for my like knowledge on cryptids, but I also have been a paranormal investigator for most of my life. I'm 25 now, but I have been doing that kind of stuff since I was about 8 years old with my dad, who grew up in a super haunted house in Massachusetts. And he has been really passionate about ghosts and paranormal investigation his whole life too, and it's something that him and I have bonded over. So for a long time, him and I have been doing that together. So I
love
actually
that.
have a ghost story. Thank you. It's really fun. Like it's really silly because like it's me and my dad, but I really
Same.
enjoy it, and we both love it.
Right. I mean, like, you can't. I don't know. Like, I mean, my family's interested, but they're not going with me. Well, Clayton is, but that's.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. Like, that's been a bond that you've both had, and yeah, that's like the fact that I guess you grew up doing it. Like,
Yeah. Well, and I live in New
Different every
England.
child.
yeah, it's like your nostalgia and your history is like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Like-
Oh, absolutely.
It's deeply rooted.
Oh, for
I didn't
sure.
wait.
And
Yeah,
like,
I didn't wait for these like TLC to come out with a ghost show. Like,
yeah, no, definitely not. Which is funny because I do have like a lot of memories of being a small kid and like watching a lot of the popular ghost shows with my dad and like being like, oh yeah, we actually were out doing that though.
Right,
Like
right.
that's so funny.
That's so fun.
I know. So you and your dad, ghost
Yeah.
hunter.
hmm I actually now I have like my own like paranormal team, and it's me and my boyfriend and one of my roommates and then one of our close friends. And my dad doesn't go out as much anymore because he's an old man now. But occasionally he joins us, and when I live in New Hampshire, so this time of year it's like right now there's 1.5 feet of snow on the ground and it's like 12 degrees out. So we don't
Perfect
go as much. Yeah, I know, right? You would think, but it's so uncomfortable. So we don't go very much in the winter, but from like the spring to the fall, we go once a week.
Well, so does your team have a name? Does your group?
No, we've never
Oh.
like officially named ourselves. If you guys want to
Okay.
think of a name for us, you're welcome to. But
They still have shirts though, matching shirts.
Matching shirts, like
no, we literally don't. We're like the most unprepared group of people ever.
uniforms, like jumpsuits. I don't know. Like, God, get it
Like
together.
wristbands.
I know.
I don't-
We should make like sweatbands for our heads.
Perfect.
Your dad's like, I mean, I'll just tell them it's too cold or something. They don't have it together yet. If they get uniforms, I'm going with them. But until
Oh
then,
my God, my dad would never wear a matching uniform with us. He's so like, he's an old man, you know, he's like really into ghosts, but in a very like low key way. And like, if he knew I was talking about him like on the internet right now, he'd be so mad at me because the man doesn't have like a single like presence on the internet anywhere. And like, he's like very old school, and the idea of matching clothing like skeeves him out so much, and he hates it.
Well, I mean, okay then. But I like, I wouldn't.
I know, I do too. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think the Ghostbusters do that too. So what's your story? We got way off tangents.
I know. So my story is it's not a story that is like personal to me. But some of you know, because some of you follow me on Instagram. My great grandmother died yesterday, and I kind of wanted to do something in memory of her. So she lived to be 104. She was born in 1916. Wow. And she grew up in White River Junction, Vermont, which is just over the New Hampshire line, next to Vermont. So I kind of like did a little research earlier, and I pulled up the history of like a really bad train wreck that happened in White River Junction. Excuse me, I had to burp, sorry. That has led to a super haunted location there. So I figured I would maybe talk about that just to kind of, keep my great grandmother's memory alive.
I love that.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Felt right.
No, I love it.
So I want to talk to you guys about the Hartford Railroad disaster. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. I don't know where everyone lives.
Not at all. I don't know anything about it.
No, that's totally fine. That's why I'm here to tell you. So it actually is considered the United States' worst train wreck in history. So it's a good way to start.
Yeah.
So basically, early February in 1887, at about 2:00 in the morning, the Boston-Montreal Express train left White River Junction 2.5 hours behind its schedule. It was supposed to be meeting the southbound Montreal train in Randolph, which is another train station in Vermont. But because they were behind schedule, they had to move a little bit faster. The train had the White River Junction train station, and I've been here. I have not like investigated this area, but I've been to it at the very least. It is a like covered bridge train station that goes over White River, which is like a really fast moving river in Vermont that connects to the Connecticut River and then goes down through New England. And this was in February, so the water's frozen. There's a lot of ice. It's like just a real bad time. So basically, they had to pass over these covered bridge tracks, and the train started to swing, like the back carriage started to swing off of the tracks. And the way they had created the train tracks back then is that they had a sheet of iron over it to try to keep it from sparking so it wouldn't catch the train on fire. Or the bridge. So this was a wooden bridge, so it was also to kind of protect the bridge. But
everything's so flammable.
I know, really. But unfortunately, that kind of backfired a little bit because the iron had iced over and the train just kind of slipped off of the tracks and then also caught fire on its way down. So yeah, it was a bad time for all. It kind of just fell off the tracks. It took the bridge down with it, and a ton of people died. There were 37, sorry, that died immediately, either from like catching on fire, drowning, being crushed by the train. And then there were 50 people who were like seriously injured, and a bunch of them died shortly after due to their injuries. And only about 20 people survived. And a lot of those people there were a lot of children, a lot of businessmen, and the conductor of the train also passed away in this wreck. So eventually, I'm going to back up a little bit. This is like, I feel like I'm like recording an episode right now, but I normally just like edit out the parts where I forget what I'm talking about.
We do too.
It's like I really like one of these days I'll just leave it up and everyone will be like, wow, this girl has no idea what's going on in her own head. But
give it like at some point people stop caring.
I know, seriously. So when the train crashed, there was a barn nearby that they took a lot of the injured people to try to give them medical attention. And that's important because the barn is like still standing today. I have seen it with my own eyes. I actually went to Vermont and passed this train station in October, I believe. Eventually the remains of the wooden bridge were replaced with a steel structure, and they left the original concrete footings of the wooden bridge in the water and just built the steel structure on top of that. So now it's the site of like a lot of weird happenings. A lot of locals won't go there. My great grandmother actually, before she passed, I had asked her about it. And when she was a little girl, they used to dare each other to go walk across the bridge because they all knew it to be really haunted. And some of the things that people experience were like the smell of burning wood, and there's a lot of apparitions of like different people who died in that area, including the conductor, whose name was Stu. And he walks along the train tracks checking for errors and things that he could fix to prevent another accident. There's an apparition. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, you have something like that tragic, like just the energy and like that it leaves behind. Like, I can't even imagine how active that place might be.
Yeah, right. It's like there's also like a small boy who was thought to be a passenger on the train, who kind of just like hovers over the water and has been seen a lot of times just like standing over the water, as if he was standing on like a thick sheet of ice, which is really interesting.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the barn that's nearby that's still standing is another site where people are constantly hearing like sobs and wailing and like screaming, like even to this day, because a lot of people died in that barn from their injuries that they sustained in this train wreck.
Oh.
That is such a good story.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and I definitely want to investigate there at some point. I had driven past that area recently because there is another covered bridge in Vermont that's like super haunted and like really well known in this area that my dad and I and my boyfriend went to go investigate in like the middle of the day one day, and we drove like 3.5 hours to this bridge in like the middle of the woods in Vermont just to go there for like a couple hours. And it was really cool. And we passed White River Junction on our way. And I was kind of just like making a mental note of it, being like, I definitely want to go back there when it's a little bit warmer out.
Yeah. And I mean, you've got like that kind of like connection too. Where you're like, okay, I want to learn a little bit more about this because it kind of ties into, I mean, when you think about your great grandmother, especially being like 104 and her being a kid and like probably anxious and scared to go over this bridge, like that connection is just like, would be really special, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of walking in her footsteps too.
Yeah, you take her with you.
Yeah, for sure. And, I was thinking about this a lot last night because, like I said, she just passed like yesterday.
Yeah.
within like 10 minutes of me saying my goodbyes to her. So it's been a rough weekend, but I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, I'm very 50-50 about if her spirit will stay with us, or if she will kind of move on. Especially like being 104, and like she's seen some shit in her life. Like she was wicked old. So I was kind of like on the fence of like, do I think she's going to stick around and like stay with us, or if I think she's going to pass over and like be at peace. And I don't really know.
Well, it could be both. I mean, as far as I look at it, I think it's kind of like when you have that situation, you can check in. I mean, that's how I feel like with my grandfather.
Yeah.
It's like whether it's dreams, things like that, but I don't feel like he's got unfinished business and he's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely think, well, again, I'm also coming from like this witch idea of like, oh, you work with like the spirits and stuff, but you know, I'm sure that it's not the case where she's going to hang around and be, you know, I mean, you don't live to be 104 and like put up with bullshit. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Right.
Like,
But-
I'm sure she put her troubles behind her. That would
Oh,
keep
yeah.
her tethered
Yeah.
in that way.
Well, yeah, we're very sorry to hear about it, and we only knew because, you know, you were going to jump on the Betty thing, and we're like, oh, and so we're glad that we could offer this to kind of, you know, honor her. We said, oh, come on, if you want to maybe get your mind off of it, but I think it's a good like cathartic thing too to like honor her in a way, and it's really
yeah,
sweet.
Absolutely. It was nice. It's nice too, because I know I said this to you guys yesterday, but you know, sometimes it's nice to like talk your feelings out a little bit, and this is a good place to do that because we're all like-minded people who, you know,
For sure.
can share a similar opinion or outlook on a little of what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and it's all very fresh, but you know, it's like I think sharing stories is like important too. It helps with the memory, and it helps like, you know.
And it's an honoring to the departed
Yeah.
to say their names and tell their stories and remember.
So we're glad you felt that we were special enough to like come on and like share a little bit about that and connection there. So we're very
Yeah, I'm really glad you guys had me. This was really nice, and it's like nice to like meet all the people who you have on here as well, because that's really cool.
Yeah. So we really thank you for your time, and I know for us, our hearts and our thoughts have been with you and your family. It's a rough time. I know my family, a lot of people, especially with COVID, it's been hard. So
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, trying to stick together.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys a lot. That was really sweet of you.
Well,
For
we're
sure.
glad you made it, and we're glad we could help in a little tiny way.
Yeah.
But
Even if only as a distraction.
Yeah. Well, no, it was nice. This was good. And I definitely look forward to like sharing more stories with you guys eventually
Yes.
too, because like eventually I'll have some that aren't like tied to the sad death of my grandmother.
Well-
and they're like a little bit more fun and upbeat.
yeah, you were like, I would love to have you guys on, and we're like, yeah, let's do like crossovers coming up.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like I really want to do an episode with you guys.
Yeah, so we will, and it'll be fun. But definitely take care, and you know, have a good solstice. I said summer solstice by mistake earlier. a good winter solstice and a Yule and holiday season, and you know, keep everybody, you know, close.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys. You too.
All right.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, it says connected. Okay, and then let's see. It's already been an hour and 8 minutes. That's crazy. All right, we've got somebody you may have heard on Hex-Files. I promise this is for cursed, but we do have Charisse on, and you've probably, like I said, if you've heard that, you know, but she's Betty's second keeper for a week, and We got Betty from Charisse and Amanda, a pretty effing spooky. So it's so cool to be on because you just had a birthday.
I did.
You hopped on the Betty live, which was awesome, but it looked like you had a good birthday.
Yes, it was best one in a while. And that's saying something considering it's COVID year. So,
Holy shit. What did you do for
Yeah,
this
what
to be your
happened?
best birthday? Like,
well,
tell
it
us the
just.
secrets.
Well, I got a manicure or pedicure and facial, which was nice, and then went and explored an abandoned house with my husband, and then just had dinner with my mom at my mom's, and then we went to this drive-through Christmas light thing. Like the Christmas lights go to music and stuff, so we all drove together and drank hot chocolate and watched that, and then stopped at haunted cemetery, which we were only there for like 5 minutes because it was freezing cold and snow on the ground. But I'm definitely going to have to go back because even in just that 5 minutes, there was weird sounds like surrounding us in the cemetery. And then when we went to leave, there were these little American flags on the fence. And I was like, look at that flag. It's moving. There was just one of the flags that was like totally moving. Like not just a little bit. It was crazy blowing. And there was no wind and none of the other flags were moving. So I was like, I mean, it could have been the wind. Who knows? But I'm going to go back.
Wow. That kind of sounds like a pinwheel we saw move, and there wasn't like a bunch of wind. It was going crazy.
Yeah, the grass wasn't blowing, but the pinwheel was.
Yeah, I've been jealous of
weird.
all your snow stories.
Yeah, but that sounds like an amazing birthday. No wonder it was the best one you
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like crazy, but it was just a fun day. And I just, did a bunch of stuff that I love to do. And I love my family. So,
yeah, such
That
a
was it.
well-rounded birthday. Like, care for yourself, spend time with people, like, have audio-visual stimulation. Like, great day. Great day.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds cool. Lights, ghosts, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of everything.
Well, we don't have all the details hashed out yet, but with Hex-Files, you guys are still here.
What?
With
Sorry.
with Hex-Files, we and like how many other people? 4 other investigators might be doing like an investigation with another haunted doll that has the same face as Betty.
I can't believe that Ivy, she's Tattoos and Spooks on Instagram. I cannot believe that she found Betty's sister. Oh my god. Now it makes me want to look and see if there's more and we can just get a whole family of these dolls.
I was just
Aunts,
thinking,
cousins.
did we adopt 2 dolls together? Does that make us a family?
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's like we are also like kicking them out, and they're like they had to go live with their cousins.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They were being bad kids. They got sent to their cousins in the other state.
States.
Grandmother.
Yeah. Their kooky aunt in the South. But no,
She's gonna let him drink mint juleps.
Yeah. But no, we jumped on that real quick. It's like somebody was like, should we buy this doll? And it's like, maybe. How much is it? We're like, okay, just fucking, we're all chipping in, and we're gonna do this. Who knows when it'll happen, but we're gonna talk about it real soon. And we'll get the cycle going. I think we're third in line maybe to get it, but we want to see what it's like without the doll. We want to see like what it's like with Betty. But so go follow these people that we're telling you to follow, because there's gonna be a lot of doll parties.
Doll parties.
Weirdly interested in this conversation.
She does. She's like, what are you guys talking about?
I don't know if it's the way she's faced, but
she made herself do that, probably.
God almighty.
Well, so you are not only just a paranormal researcher and investigator, and birthday haver, but you're also
Yes.
And you're real, right?
Yes, I am. I think I am. I don't know. Some days I wonder.
You're corporeal for now.
For now.
But so do you have like some Yule traditions that you usually do around this year? They don't have to be like strictly pagan, but isn't everybody's Christmas pagan?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Even people who aren't pagan, their Christmases, their Yules are pagan.
Except for like Hanukkah, I guess they get a pass.
Yeah, yeah.
But
They,
you Christians
they have
out
their
there,
own thing.
You're on watch because you're doing pagan shit.
We see ya.
Keep borrowing. You'll
Borrow.
borrow it. Get your fucking terms off of it.
Not really. I mean, because I was raised Christian and Catholic in both the churches. And so I do just a lot of just the Christmas stuff. Usually the solstice I save for myself. I'll do like a ritual or, like a special tarot spread. And I usually go to spend time in nature. I don't force my beliefs on my kids. So sometimes they'll participate. I'll ask them if they want to participate in the ritual with me. Sometimes they say yes. Sometimes they don't care.
God, Mom, go like talk to your pine cones.
That is, yeah. That's kind of how my daughter feels. She's 17. Although, thanks to TikTok, with all these youngins posting their spiritual and witchcraft stuff, she realizes that her mother actually isn't like as much of a crazy weirdo as she thought.
Right.
She's like, oh, other people do these things too?
But then she's also like, witch talk is awful.
Yes.
Oh, I know. I'm like, please don't follow anything on Witch Talk.
Paranormal talk is fun.
Yes.
There are some fakes, but there's no closed traditions in the paranormal TikTok.
Yeah.
Tarot is closed tradition. Bless them.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. But otherwise, no, nothing really. I mean, we make cookies and stuff, but
except that you literally just told us your Yule tradition of, well, on the solstice, I take for myself. I do this.
Yeah.
This. And it's like, that's it. That's what.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what I do.
Well, we like that because, especially if you're the only one practicing in your house, like to take that day to yourself is like, I think, very important. Because I mean, sometimes we're in groups, especially this year, it's not going to be a group, but it's like I'm used to doing my normal secular Christmas. For me, it's secular. For everybody else, it's like baby Jesus and stuff. But I mean, there's still presents. So,
yeah,
capitalist Jesus is just as fine. But then like I always do a separate like solstice, like Yule thing. This year it might get pushed, and it depends on how many people and how it feels. But it might be combined with New Year's. But there's no point in trying to do like get-togethers too often.
Yeah, we have to limit. We have to be responsible.
Right. It's really bad here, but I think tomorrow being the solstice, it's like I do have to work, but after it's like, I might do my own little, lighting of something and doing a little offering and everything. But it kind of, I always look at Yule and the solstice like that 20 to 22nd. So if there's one day I'm free, this is my Yule celebration tonight. But but then I do Christmas like everybody else, in the consumer sense, not in the like go to church sense.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I refuse.
Although I do. I don't know if it's just because I grew up in the church, but I mean, there is just something about a Catholic church and just even Christian church on Christmas Eve, like with the candles and stuff. I don't know. It's a whole vibe.
It is a vibe.
I will say, as having like been married into an Episcopalian family for a while, which is like diet Catholic, like it's very Catholic than like the Southern Baptist flavor that we're used to.
Episcopalians are like that wild cousin that still kind of follows the rules but does their own thing.
Right, they mellowed out a whole bunch as they got older.
They liked gay people first.
Yeah.
Oh,
and the priests.
Yeah, look at them.
Sometimes they serve mimosas after church.
What?
It's not even like.
I wish I grew up in that church. I grew up in Catholic and Lutheran. They're not very fun.
No, they took out the whiskey palians.
Whiskey palians.
Yeah.
So did they not? Is it not communion mimosas? Like this is the mimosa of Christ. Like
they have really long communion. Where in Southern Baptist churches we have grape juice because
But everybody drinks, and they just don't want you to see them in the ABC store.
Right.
But no, I like the idea of like brunch Jesus, mimosas, yes.
Brunch Jesus. You've come up with like 85 different names for Jesus in the last 5 minutes. Like capitalist Jesus, brunch Jesus,
white Jesus. They're everywhere. But we know you have a ghost story or 100. But if you can think of one that you would like to tell.
I'm trying to think of one that I
The ghost
haven't
of Catholic
shared.
past.
Ghost of Catholic past. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of one that I haven't shared already on social media or on like somebody else's
It's okay. We don't know.
channel. You don't know.
People might cross listen, but that's fine too.
Yeah.
I'm
And you never tell the same story the same way twice.
That's true too. So the first ghost I ever saw was at my grandma's house. I feel like I just told this story to you guys. Did I tell you?
Not
I
us.
feel like I literally just said this story.
You were on. I mean, you were talking to us about Betty, but we didn't talk about ghost stories.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, first ghost I ever saw. I was
Other friends.
Do you have other
other
friends?
no.
Do you have other podcast friends?
No.
Oh.
No. I was on one other podcast. Maybe that's where I shared it. I don't know. Anywho.
Wow, what's their name?
Is it serious?
Well, we haven't adopted a haunted doll together, so it's not as serious as it is with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, if you want out, just say it.
We're committed now. We just adopted a child, so yeah. We're in this forever, all right?
Amanda's like, God, I'm glad I missed this.
I'm so jealous. She's out doing super cool investigation.
I know, me too. But we settled for this too, so
yeah.
we did our cool investigation last night.
I mean, I'm
whatever. What was I saying? Oh, so at my grandma's when I was like 7 or 8, I was sitting on my aunt's bed. And my aunt's more like my sister. She's only 6 years older than me, and we grew up together. Anyway, I was sitting in her room waiting for her to come in to go to bed, and all of a sudden a shadow figure, it was about my height, walks past me and stops in front of the window, and I'm looking at it, and I remember I wasn't scared. I was just like, what the hell is this? Well, I probably didn't say hell at 7 years old, but I'm looking at it and I could tell, like I couldn't see features or anything, but I could see, shoulders and a head and stuff. And it was almost like I could just sense that it noticed, like she sees me, because it kind of like turned to look at me, like its whole body turned. And it was almost like we had this moment of like, wait a minute, I see you. Do you see me? Like it was so weird.
That sounds like TikTok.
Yeah.
You see me?
That's a TikTok.
Do you see me?
Yes, I see you.
And then it just disappeared. Like it just dissipated. And I just sat there like, what did I just see? My aunt comes in and I told her, and I was thinking she was going to laugh at me or think I was crazy. And she was like, seriously? And she sat down. She's like, okay, I guess I can tell you now. And I'm like, what? She's like, the house is haunted. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. It was totally, especially that bedroom, for real.
I was going to wait till you were 8 years old, but...
Well, I guess they didn't want to scare me. She was like, we've all experienced stuff, and, we didn't want to scare you, but now that you've seen it, now you know. And that whole house was just crazy. I mean, my cousins and I would be in that bedroom playing Nintendo, and we'd have the door shut, and we'd hear, like, banging on the bedroom door. And we'd open the door, and there would be nothing there. And, like, we'd think it was one of our other little cousins knocking on the door. That happened constantly, that there was just knocks on the door and nobody would be there. You would hear what sounded like somebody running up the basement stairs, and it would just stop right at the top of the basement stairs at the door. I mean, there were so many things that happened at this house, like to the point, it was never scary though. And you pretty much just got used to it. Like I'd be eating lunch and I'd look over and see one of the shadow people just walk through the hallway, and I'm like, oh, there's the ghost.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I want to go back though. My grandma, she's now in a nursing home, and my grandpa had passed away. So she hasn't lived in that house for years now. But the weird thing is my aunt's boyfriend lived 2 houses down, and he had paranormal stuff happen at his house. The people next door to him also had weird stuff happen. I experienced stuff at my great grandma, who lived in the neighborhood right behind that. There was weird stuff at her house. My aunt, through marriage, her sister, lived in the neighborhood on the other side, and she had crazy stuff happen. There was her twin boys when they were little, they talked about a little boy that they saw in overalls named Cut. And their mom asked, why do you call him Cut? And they're like, because he has cuts all over him.
Ah!
Right? They're just talking to some little ghost boy in overalls with cuts all over his whole body.
Yeah, that's a cut over there. Why do you
Yeah, and they were totally cool with it. Just like, yeah, that's
got a whole
him.
bunch of cuts on.
That's why children are so accepting and so open. Like that, a grown up can't have that experience.
I know. Like, I mean, I feel like if I
Amazing.
saw my first ghost as an adult, I don't know, though I'm a weirdo, I still probably would have been like, wow, what's that? But most people are like, what the hell?
Right.
But so my big desire, my big goal one day is to research that land, because it used to be farmland, and which makes sense. So I'm wondering if there was a little boy that died on the farm, and I'm thinking
he
that
probably got caught in like a
like the machinery.
Oof.
I don't know, and I'm thinking that that's the same ghost that I saw, because when I saw it, it was a figure that was as tall as me when I was like 7 or 8. So I'm wondering if it's that same little boy. Thankfully,
He's
I didn't
likely
see him
buried
covered in
there.
cuts. I know. So I don't know. So I want to do the research on the land. I also want to
Yeah.
go into the neighborhood and put up like flyers and ask, email me or call me if you live in this neighborhood and you've had paranormal experiences. And I'm dying to go knock on the people who live at the house now, to knock on their door and be like, hi, you don't know me, but is your house haunted? Because it was when we
Right.
lived here.
Wow. It's okay. So never mind then. Sorry I bothered you. Because like last night we were at the hotel and there was this older couple that was like sitting at the end of the bar, and we're talking with our friends at Spooky Charlotte, and we're like, well, at this hotel, it's like that was our first time there. At the last one, we were a little bit like low key because they were like, do not talk about ghosts. There's no ghosts here. Don't worry about the ghosts. But this one, they like encourage it, and they showed us around, and there was an older lady sitting there, and he was like, have you seen any, do you know this hotel is haunted? Because he was like, she was listening to our conversation, and she wanted to like say something. She was like, is it? And he was like, oh yeah. And she was like, so you think it is? Do you think it is? And he was like, no, it is. And she was like, what? And like her mind, and then we were like cashing out to like go leave, and it's like, good luck sleeping tonight, I guess.
Yeah, like you gotta either put the hard sell or the soft sell. You can't always go straight for the.
Her look was
gusto.
like, oh fuck, like it's haunted. But yeah, you should show up to that house and be like, hey, we used to live here. Is it still haunted? Yeah, no, okay, well.
You guys met Cut?
You guys, have you seen the little kid that had cuts all over his body? No, okay, never mind, wrong house.
Yeah, people.
Yeah, like have you seen this ghost posters?
That's what. Yeah, I need to do. Like, let me know, please.
100%.
I don't know. I feel like these people have to be experiencing stuff, because, I mean, there was so much stuff that happened at that house.
It has.
They have to be like, even if they don't believe in ghosts, it has to at least be to the point that they're like, huh, that was weird. Like,
like the
so
same things.
Yeah, I'd want to know if I was living in a house and I was experiencing stuff, and somebody knocked on my door and was like, hey, I used to live here with my family and we experienced this stuff. I'd be so excited. I'd be like, oh my God, come inside. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
I'd want to know.
Yeah,
let's draw pictures of stuff.
I would be that way, but then you hear that people like 100% of the time are like, I moved because my house was haunted. Like, so, it could be a situation like that where it's like, are you able to move very quickly if I bring this up? But no, it would be interesting to find out because, there's like, I don't know, we get so interested in these like bigger stories that like when you hear a personal one experience, but when you want to dig more into it, it's like, I need to find this, but you really have to hit the pavement on it because you can't just Google. You could Google some stuff, but like you really have to like ask around
And like
Yeah.
find who owned the land, who lived there,
Exactly.
maybe who
Mhm.
farmed there. Like what's
Yeah.
the old newspaper stories? Like look for death records, birth certificates.
Yeah.
Right. Is there any?
I think I'm going to go to the Historical Society, which actually it was last year I decided, all right, next year, 2020, I'm going to totally do this. I'm going to actually research it, maybe film it and put it on YouTube and stuff.
Nothing
and
can hold me back.
and then COVID happened. And then honestly, I just kind of, it got put on the back burner because I started working on other projects and haunted dolls and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's definitely something I want to pursue for sure.
Yeah, we didn't mean to be like haunted doll people right now, but I mean, you know, wherever it goes, it goes.
Like when you get a haunted doll, you get a haunted doll.
Mm-hmm.
When she finds you, she finds you.
Yeah. Which is
I
funny.
never thought that I'd be having another one, by the way, especially Betty's damn sister.
You're like, yeah, at this stage of my life, like with everything going on, I didn't think I'd have another one, but here we are.
Here we are. Why not?
It's done.
Right.
Gotta end 2020 on, you know, some kind of crazy note. Why not bring in a second haunted doll?
Yeah.
So,
I hope they get along. I hope Betty's not territorial.
You bet.
are you gonna like send Betty away for a week or like?
Well, I don't know who will take her, but I was thinking like, we want to split it. We want to see if we can get Betty out of the apartment
Mhm.
and bring in the new one and see if there's any like, we don't want cross contamination.
Yeah.
I almost brought Betty to the hotel, and I was like, well, she might be a vessel, maybe she'll help. But then I was like, no, because I don't want cross contamination. I've
Mhm.
never stayed at this hotel. Maybe in the next couple times we stay, maybe, but this first time, no. And the thing about the spirit box is that whole night we heard Betty like so many times. Did not hear Betty
That's
once.
so
I'm like, okay, I'm
crazy.
not making it up. Like,
Yeah.
we're not making up hearing Betty. Like,
You've never heard Betty in the swamp either.
no, I've never
Wow.
heard Betty on that thing except when Betty's around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll probably try to do let's have Betty out of the apartment and work with this new doll, and then bring Betty in and see if there's a portal that opens up, like a visible portal that might open up because we get
That'd be
two
insane.
haunted dolls that look like the opposite directions, and they can look at each other with that like, here we go again
Ah,
face.
yeah.
Like they're
Kid sister.
It's like a-
brother
it's like a 90s Disney sitcom or
from
show.
hell.
Right.
Yeah, from hell. I'm so excited to see the two of them
I'm the
together.
haunted one.
I love that you guys are going to be able to do that. Like a few days without Betty and then a few days with Betty. Like that's
Yeah.
going to be pretty awesome.
So if you want to get in on the action ahead of time, follow Amanda at Pretty Effin' Spooky. Follow Charisse at Charisse Williams .xo
Dot.
underscore. No,
Dot.
.xo. I'll put all this in the show notes, and we'll obviously post about this all the time. Tattoos and Spooks. That's Ivy. And then us. You know us. You know us from Hex-Files. You remember? But I'm so excited to do that like 4-way like investigation like, and I don't even think we'll make this an episode. We'll just, unless some crazy shit happens, we'll straight just put something on YouTube. Everybody else's will look better.
We'll figure it out when we
Yeah.
hash out the episode
But it sounds fun. So
or the details.
that's what you guys can look forward to next year. More dolls,
Woo.
drinks, more drinks. We really are. There's like a 2-note, a 2-trick pony. Haunted hotels,
Dolls
right.
and drinks.
And hopefully we'll get vaccines and take COVID seriously in this country, and we'll be able to do more traveling, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Don't hold your breath. Well, we thank you for coming on. We're already at like an
Thanks for
hour and a
having
half,
me.
and we know it's late on a Sunday. We appreciate everybody that showed up, all the guests. When I post this, it'll have all the links to you guys. So if there's anything I missed, send me a message and I'll make sure to add it. But we hope everybody has a good solstice. Sleep well. There was no 2 creepy ghost stories, so you can fall asleep.
Yeah.
Anybody with sleep paralysis out here? Just remember,
Good
you're not
luck.
going to sleep with a haunted doll in your house. We are. So
Yeah.
it'll be okay.
Yule Cat's watching you.
Yule Cat.
He's watching you.
But I will see you next year, everybody. and we'll maybe make this a tradition. But again, thanks to all our guests. Thank you, Charisse. Happy belated birthday
Thank
again.
you. Thank
Um,
you.
Happy birthday.
Why did it sound like two people said
Thanks.
thank you? You heard that, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Charisse.
Did you say it twice?
No, it sounded like
Did
Charisse and her doppelganger said it.
It
Ugh.
sounded like you said thank you, thank you.
Yeah, it said like, but no, it was overlapped. It wasn't even like an echo. It was like two people saying thank you, which is the real Charisse. We'll have to find
Well,
out
I don't
later.
like that.
Which is crazy.
I mean, I do kind of like that because it's creepy, but I also
Which
kind
is
of don't.
crazy because
Is this doll already messing with
because
me?
the mocking I heard was in my voice that EVP we picked up. And then when Tamara said on the live Betty thing, which if you're a 5 and up patron, you can go watch. It's what did it say? Like,
Are you mad at me?
are you mad at me? And you said, I know why that freaked me out. It was my voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck. So these dolls like mocking people.
I don't like
Yeah.
that.
Sleep tight.
Great.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
From everybody at Cursed
Thanks.
and everybody at Hex-Files.
What?
What? Have a happy holiday, happy new year, and we'll see you on the other side. Goodbye.
Bye.
Don't let the Yule cat get you.
Meow. Okay, should I end it? Press this button, this red button. Click. Yes, I want to end it.